Brothers and sisters, we back again, you know what I'm saying, on another one, Injury to One. Y'all know what's up, you know what I'm saying? We come, we put our tools down and we have a conversation. I'm your host, Dezo, and I tell y'all every time that it may not be me, it's gonna be somebody else, but it's all good because it's for all of us. It's for all 60 or maybe 70 locals, but it's for all our locals. It's for everybody to come sit down. Everybody's invited, man. That's how we get down. So come sit down, put your table, put your stuff on the table, and we gonna have this conversation. So introduce yourself, your plug.
Christopher Clay, 9660, local 91.
Let's go. Okay, we in this thing, man. That's another local up in here. Y'all juice. I'm juice for sure. So, Mr. Clay, man, I appreciate you for coming. Can you tell me why did you want to become a member of the ILWU?
Oh, man, that's such a great question. Now, first of all, I'm going to say I'm third generation.
Okay.
Okay. So, watching my grandfather, watching my father, watching my uncles, watching my aunt, and which came down here, watching my cousins work down here, it kind of just made sense. And in the family, this is a graduation from college equivalent.
Okay, right.
So
right.
if you're going to go to college and you want to become a doctor, and you want to be a lawyer, you got to go all the way. This is the same thing for our family. But you want to become a walking boss, you want to become a clerk, you want to go all the way through the long short industry and do the best you can and make it to the top. So the inspiration is looking at those before me, looking at the family. And that's the reason for wanting to come down here and wanting to do this. I can go even further and say, when I was a young person, I remember going over to Grandma's house, and Grandpa was upstairs sleeping in his room in the middle of the day. It was about 11, 12 o'clock. And we go upstairs, and my grandma says to my dad, says, hey, go upstairs, your daddy wants you to go to the store.
Right.
And so we go upstairs, I follow behind my father. I must be about 10 years old when this happened. And Grandpa's sleeping on the floor, and I said, oh, that's kind of weird that he's sleeping on the floor. He's sleeping on Grandma's side of the bed on the floor. It's real dark in the room. He ain't sleeping in the bed. I don't understand what's going on.
Right.
And my dad says to him, says, Daddy, Mama said, come up here, that you want me to go to the store. And Grandpa get up, and he says, yeah, Junior, and he pulls out this big wad of money, just this big fat stack of cash out of his pocket. And he peels off 2 20s and hand it to my father. He says, go over to El Rancho, it's in San Francisco, and go buy some steaks.
Okay.
Now, see, I grew up poor.
Right.
So we weren't used to having steaks in the house when I was little. We weren't used to having, my dad wasn't used to having money like that. And I told you, I'm third generation, but it took a while for my dad to get down here.
Right.
So anyway, we go over to El Rancho. My dad goes finds the cheapest steaks he can find. Biggest pack of the thinnest cut steaks. and it makes sense, right? To feed a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so we go back to Grandma's house, and he walks in the kitchen. He says, Mama, he says, I got the steaks that Daddy wanted. And she looks at the steaks. She says, honey, Junior, I don't think this is what your daddy wanted.
Yeah.
Take these upstairs and go show them to your dad. He says, well, what's wrong, Mama? No, just take them down, take them upstairs. And so we go upstairs. I follow him behind my dad again. And Grandpa sleep on the floor still. He says, Daddy, I'm back from the store. Mama said bring the steaks up to you to take a look at them. Is there something wrong with them? And he takes a look at the steaks. He says, boy, I told you go to the store and go buy some steaks. And he pulls out this wad of money again. He peels off another $40, goes hands it to my dad. Go to the back and tell the butcher you want to cut that thick.
Okay.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was just sitting here amazed. I don't know what Grandpa did at that time. I didn't understand it. All I know is I want that.
Right.
I want that. What?
Yes.
I told you I grew up with nothing. When I saw that, I said, I can't believe he just did that. Whatever he's doing, it's the middle of the day. He may be sleeping on the floor, but he sleep.
Right.
In the middle of the day at home, and he has all this money. Now that looked real big to me.
Right.
So we go back to the store, get the right steaks. There's the story. From that point forward, I really was inspired. Like, I really want to know what this is. I really want to have a taste of this.
Mm.
So that was my first part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Now we go forward. Now I'm about 15 years old, 16. I'm in school.
Mm-hmm.
And on the chalkboard, there was a Shakespearean quote. And the English teacher saying, hey, how does this apply to your life? And I was like,
oh, okay.
This quote doesn't mean anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
Does not apply to my life. And I really don't want to listen to this individual in front of me being nice.
Right, yeah.
And I put my head down. I had my hoodie on. I put my head down on the desk. Like, I'm not paying attention to this. This means nothing to me.
Mm-hmm.
He says, it was Mr. Rothstein's class. So Mr. Rothstein says, you can't sleep in my class. I put my head up. I said, hey, what do you want? And he says, you need to know this. He points at the chalkboard again. And I read the chalkboard and I'm looking at it. I'm saying, I don't need to know this. And I put my head right back down. Okay. Now, this is funny. It's not funny. I was being disrespectful.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah. I know, like you being facetious.
I really was. I really was.
Yeah.
And he says again, points me out again. You can't sleep in my class. And I put my head up again. And he says to me, you need to know this. If you're gonna do anything in life, I said, I'm gonna be a longshoreman when I get older, and I don't need to know this. I swear to God, that's exactly what I said.
I'm sorry for laughing.
As I go to put my head back down, he says, there ain't gonna be no longshoreman when you get older.
What?
That's what he said. And so, my smart ass sits up this time. I said, not only am I gonna be a longshoreman, but I'm gonna make more money than you do. And then I put my head back down. And that was the end of that. So, when you ask why I want to be a longshoreman, because all I know is that there's money here. Didn't know exactly what it was.
Right.
Now, when I finally did get a taste of it, I was 18 years old. My first job on the waterfront, I was 18. And I said, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm at. I don't have a clue what's going on. Everything is big and loud and moving fast.
Everything.
And I'm going to tell you, that first time on the waterfront, that very first day is the scariest day ever. And I'll tell you, I had nightmares for a week. For a straight week. I'm waking up in the middle of the night screaming because I'm thinking a box is going to come land on top of me. I'm thinking a tractor going to come run over me. You know, I'm thinking something's going to happen to me in a horrible manner, right?
Yeah.
Because all these loud noises have affected me that much.
For real.
I kept coming back. I kept coming back.
Yeah.
So it became a passion and a love. And I said, I really like this, especially when I saw the check. Well, when I saw the check, I said, man, this blows away everything else I'm doing.
Like, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all.
And this is funny because one day of lashing back then was $157.
Right.
156 and some change.
Mm-hmm.
$157. That was big money.
Yeah.
That was big money.
What, 99?
Oh, that was 98.
98.
It was 98.
So, yeah.
And I was loving it. I was like, this is great. So every check that I had, it's like I'm throwing it in my car, and you know I'm young,
right?
So at the time I had no responsibilities. Let's go ahead and put it in the car,
right.
And
that's one of the baddest cars out there,
for the most part. Just kept putting money in the car. That's all I could do. Anyway,
I could dig that.
That's my story on how it began.
My thing is I don't know like how many generations I am because I got cousins out there. My Uncle Bob, my Uncle Bob Ward, Robert Ward. I don't know what they call him out there, but he was out there, and my dad used to go and used to work through his social.
Yeah.
So like my thing is my dad used to take me to Bloody Thursday. He used to bring me to union meetings and stuff. And I knew that my pops was like involved in something that was like, it seemed to be a little bigger than what he was doing. So my dad, he had the job and he was working at the newspaper. And then he, you know, he was still working at the newspaper when he was an un-ID, because he was an un-ID, and then he was a ID, and then, you know, he climbed through the ranks. And so when he brought me around, I knew that this was something different. I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know that the cranes and stuff was connected to us. I didn't know that was our job. I just know that being at the hall, I can't really hear nothing on the PA system, but I know that these guys is together. Like the togetherness was something. So when I got my opportunity and why I wanted to be a part is because I knew that it seemed like something bigger. A brother and a sisterhood that's something that could never be like people when you wear this ILWU out in different places and people see you,
Oh, it means something.
It automatically connects us. So that was a reason of definitely why I wanted to be a part of this whole situation, and I want to be a part of us being together, being solid, our solidarity, because we all need each other, and it's gonna be a time when our employer is trying to take our liberties, our take back whatever that we have in our, and we're gonna have to stand together. So I know that was one of the reasons why I wanted to be a part of this organization. I just knew that it was way bigger than what I could imagine. So that's why I love it. The people are really my brothers and sisters out there. Like for real. I don't care where I go. If I see you with that on, I know you my people, no matter what.
So I want to spin off of something you said, and this has to do with my first day of actually being at Local 10 and going in the hall. So I've been down in the hall because Bloody Thursdays, right?
Right.
Dad's taking us down there. There's union meetings which I went to as a child.
Yes.
Just like what you said. My dad would take us down there, and this is back when the doors used to have chains on them and locks.
Oh.
So during union meeting night, what they would do is they'd actually chain the door up and lock it so you didn't go outside. So once you were in that meeting, you were in that meeting.
Yeah.
And I forget when they finally took the chains off, but they stopped using the chains during the meetings, but then didn't take the chains off because they wanted to be able to lock up and secure the hall at night. Eventually, the chains disappear for the most part. So anyway, moving forward from there, I remember going to the hall, and this is my first day in, and people are looking at me and trying to figure out who I am. Now, mind you, I'm real young at the time, right?
18.
And they're asking questions, and people are introducing themselves. And as I'm being kind of shown around and introduced to others, a woman comes up to me and she says, my father introduced her to me. Her name was Wanda. And she says to me, I'm your Aunt Wanda.
Right.
I want you to understand, I'm your Aunt Wanda. I said, okay. All right, yes, ma'am. No, you understand, you call me Aunt Wanda.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, Aunt Wanda.
Okay. Right.
Yes, Aunt Wanda. And she was a very different type of person. She spoke very derogatory. She very, very strongly voiced. She was one of the first women down here at Local 10.
Okay.
Which kind of explains it. She had her own defense mechanisms. But I bring that up because she was very adamant about how she was my aunt.
Right.
And I'd never met this woman before. Yes. This was a first. And from that day forward, I called her Aunt Wanda.
Right.
That was Aunt Wanda. Now, something similar happened on the job over at SSA. And both these individuals I talk about actually played different roles in my life down the road. Mind you, I've been on the waterfront for, 27 years now? The second person was over at SSA. He was the dog boss. His name was Marcus Johnson. And when Marcus found out who I was, he says, I'm your Uncle Marcus.
Yeah.
Do you understand me?
Right.
I'm your Uncle Marcus.
Yeah.
I just had this conversation with Aunt Wanda. Right?
Yeah.
So I know how this goes.
Yeah.
And he then says to me, he says, if you need anything, ever.
Anything
give me a call.
Yeah.
He says, your Uncle Marcus got you.
Yes.
And I truly did not understand what that meant. because this is somebody in which I just met,
Right.
in which is, if he's being sincere, offering me the world.
Yes.
So I don't know who this is. Once again, I'm gonna tell you, I got in some trouble at one point in time, and just by mentioning his name, got me out of trouble.
Oh.
And I mean, I was in legal trouble.
Right.
And just by me having that relationship with him, when I end up mentioning it, somebody I said what I was, said I was longshoreman, and this goes with family, right? This goes with the closeness, how close we are together. I said, "Oh, I'm a longshoreman." And they said, "So what do you mean a longshoreman? What are you doing out here?" Because I was doing work detail.
Oh yeah.
And out here in Richmond, matter of fact.
So cleaning up on the side of the freeway type stuff.
It was all bad. It was all bad. It was all bad. So I said, I'm a longshoreman. I said, I worked last night. That's why you see me sleeping on the bus.
Tired. Yeah.
I'm tired. What do you mean you're working? I'm a longshoreman. No. Yeah, I'm a longshoreman. Well, you probably don't know him. Do you know a man named Marcus?
Now, that's the person that you're working with.
I know Marcus. Hey, I said, describe him.
On work detail.
She says, oh, he's older. He's been down there for a long time. He's been there for a long time. You probably don't know who he is. Light skin. I said, Marcus Johnson? You mean Uncle Marcus?
Yeah.
And she says, what do you mean, Uncle Marcus? How's that your uncle? I wasn't trying to start no shit. I really wasn't.
Right. Yeah.
But apparently that was of interest to her when I brought that up. And this is my Uncle Marcus.
Right.
And as I explain this, no more work detail from me. Everybody else wants to know, how is it possible that I'm not having to clean up the side road?
Yeah, man. How you get carte blanche service?
It gets even better than that though. Because everybody else said, I don't know what you did, but she been nice to us all day. We swore we're gonna all be violated.
Right. But something happened with that Marcus conversation. Shout out to brother Marcus. Man, that's crazy.
Rest in peace, because he's passed away.
Okay, rest in peace.
But I'm gonna tell you, a great man when he was alive.
Right.
On the waterfront and loved beyond.
Yes.
And that was just proof of it. Now that goes back to what we were talking about in regards to family down here. You get so close to people down here. You eat with them. You sleep with them. You're waking up by their side. Matter of fact, I threw a water bottle at a partner of mine, which started snoring in the hotel room because we had just got there to go to sleep. And I was like, I can't believe this. See, he's sleeping, making all this damn noise. Threw pillows at him, threw a water bottle on him. There was nothing that shook this man. And we fast forward a few years, and we're on a job over at APL. We're studying mechanics together. And this man decides that he's going to go take a nap during lunchtime in the break room on the couch that we have. And as he walks in there and he goes lay down on the couch, says, look, you take your ass to sleep. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to throw this water bottle right at your head. And, oh, you ain't going to do nothing. You ain't going to do nothing. And I'm sitting there playing dominoes, trying to have a nice lunch. And sure enough, he lay down on the damn couch, starts snoring. I pick up the water bottle and I launch it straight at his head. You should have heard the break room. Everything went silent because everybody couldn't believe what I had just done.
Yeah.
Now, in all honesty, that constitutes a year off. That was assault on the job.
Oh, wow.
It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. But his snoring was even worse. Okay?
But you didn't get in trouble for it.
I didn't get in trouble for it.
Okay.
Everybody was shot shitless.
Thank God.
And I'm just telling you what happened.
Yeah, thank God.
And it's a great story because we laugh about it still today.
Yes.
And it is one of the funniest things. He's one of my closest friends down here on the waterfront. And I consider him family. I call him my illegitimate stepbrother because he's over at my mama's house more than I am.
Well, I tell you,
that's how it is.
I consider everybody family. They all, every single person, especially in Local 10. I mean, that's where I'm at. But every single person that see this, that's a part of this, y'all my brothers and sisters too. So I'm open to all y'all. It doesn't matter what local you come from. I'm open to all y'all. So here we go.
All right.
We got this question. So looking back at your time as a longshoreman and a boss since you were 91 at Local 91, can you tell me something that happened that fundamentally shaped your understanding of the work, the union, and the importance of solidarity?
And I'm sure other people have said this, but I'm gonna say it. When we had a lockout and the company locked us out,
Okay.
we couldn't go to work for 10 days. And 10 days, we all had to come together. So it was bosses, clerks, security, longshoremen. We all had to come together. And it didn't matter what level you're on. It didn't matter if you're an un-ID, an ID, a B-man, an A-man.
Right.
If you've been here, a lineman. It didn't matter if you were here for 100 years or here for the first day. But we were all locked out. Now, one thing we all had in common is we all were here to go to work.
Okay.
Everybody just wanted to go to work. And those lines between us for what position you're in, right, what level you're at, didn't matter because we're all on the same level on that day. Yes. For those 10 days, we were all on the same level. We're all sleeping in the cars, watching the job, making sure nobody else is going in there.
Right.
Oh, it sounds crazy, but it's what happens, right? We're trying to stop true scabs.
Right.
That's truly what we're trying to stop, right? We don't want to have any infiltration coming from outside.
Okay.
And we really don't want any cargo moving at all. We want to make sure that nothing's moving anywhere.
Okay.
Like, you want to lock us out, we're going to be out here. We're going to ensure that nobody else is in there taking our job. And I think that was really, really big because it caused us to be together. We had to cook together, eat together, kumbaya together, if you want to say, right? Right. Yes. So everybody had to get along regardless of the feelings.
Right.
And man, woman alike. It didn't matter. And you saw some people out there with their kids. You met people's wives and husbands, which had never been girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever the deal with. You met people attached to them that you never had seen or would have never seen. And so there was a very good time during those 10 days, as horrible as those 10 days were. Because nobody knew how long it was going to last.
Right.
And so you're like, man, we're out here, we're not making any money, but we got to be out here. We have to be out here. Car payments aren't being made. House payments aren't being made. Bills aren't being paid. I know it's just 10 days. But we didn't know it was 10 days at the time.
Right.
So we're like, we don't know how long it's going to go. And we just stood by, and we stood by. And police would come by and try to harass us. I know I got harassed.
Right.
And it just, we ended up having to come together. We shared stories. Literally around a campfire. It was something very different.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a really good thing that lasted for a little while. So I want to say the lasting effect of the togetherness lasted probably a good year. And after that, we kind of went back to the way we were, back to our norm, because we tend to forget things. We tend to forget how close we became during that time. And as time continued from there, we've grown further apart, unfortunately. That time together, that breaking bread together, is imperative. It's what helps us stay together. But that was one of the, if not the most impactful time. And how did that shape you? Well, it just made you want to be here that much more.
Right.
You actually care about, it's more than just a job. It's a lifestyle. This is
yes, definitely.
This is not just,
definitely.
This is not something you can just explain to anybody outside and for them to understand. When I look at it, I'm closer to the people down here than I am to my own family.
Man.
And like I said, most of my family's down here. Not everybody, but a lot of them, right?
Right.
So it's hard when you try to explain to somebody that's outside what this is.
Yes, it is very hard. Yes, it is very, it is, people don't understand it.
No.
If you don't go through it, they don't understand it. It's kind of like speaking a different language damn near to them, because they don't understand what we go through down there. They don't understand the emotions. They don't understand none of that type of stuff. And so it's kind of, so the emotions of the job and the emotions of people's mindsets and stuff out there is just it's just a thing to, whereas I would love for this platform right here to get the solidarity. You know what I mean? Because like this we strong.
Agreed.
Like this, it's a little flimsier. So it's like, yeah, we need to most definitely just be a part of one another. Because, like I said, when I see somebody else anywhere else, I feel a part of them. I feel a part of this thing of ours. Like, this is La Costa Nostra to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This
Definitely.
is our thing,
Definitely.
right? And when I see anybody, I feel like, hey, especially with this song, I feel like we're together. Doesn't even matter if I know you, I've just met you right now. You got that on, I got this on. That brings us to here. To
Agreed.
Me. That brings us to here.
Now here's something. With that being said, if you take an IW emblem and you put it on your baggage when you go traveling,
yes,
you're that much more likely to have your bag be safe. Where it ain't going to get thrown around, ain't going to get torn up, ain't going to get thrown, end up in the water. Yeah, it's a little different when somebody sees one of those emblems, because they're like, hey, you know, that's one of us.
That's one of our.
Or people. That's somebody that's one of our people, somebody in which we care about. When it comes to the family, our actual family at home, you know, we were talking about how they don't understand. It's hard for them to understand because they aren't here. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that was said to me when we first got down here was, most of you are going to lose your husbands. Most of you are going to lose your wives.
Yeah, that was told.
Most of you are going to lose your family.
In the Henry Smith rooms.
Yep.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you're going to lose your stuff. So you're going to lose. If you have a new car, you're going to lose your car. You have a new house, you're going to lose your house. And they're telling you from the very beginning that everything you have is probably going to disappear in this process. Mm-hmm. And as hard as it is, it's true. It's very true. Because the outside doesn't understand this. So if you have that significant other, they don't understand why you're not coming home with any money, able to put any bread on the table, bacon on the table, as they say. And yet you're gone all day. You're gone 7 days a week. You're gone damn near 12 hours a day. And you've made no money because you've sat in the hall that whole damn time until you no longer have to do it. And even after you no longer having to do it, you're still struggling day to day to be able to make it so that you have a full week at the end of the week. And you become very scared, very frightful of missing that job. They train us that way at the very beginning. Yeah. So it is very different. And that's where togetherness for us also comes together. Because if we are all going through that struggle, it brings us together tighter, because we're going through that struggle of even just trying to make it so we have a job, so we can go to a job, we got some place we can go to. It's very surreal in its own fashion. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you on this next one, I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but I have definitely gave you a shout out, you know what I'm saying, on one of the episodes about the automation and stuff, but we just gonna, you know what I'm saying, I just wanted to tell you that because man, talking to you, the time we worked together, like, you left a real impression on me. So I thank you for just coming here. You know what I'm saying? I thank you for talking to the brothers and sisters and showing them, you know what I'm saying, letting them know that this thing right here, we damn sure can keep it together if we be together. So the question is, considering the changes that you see in the maritime industry. So you being a boss, I'm pretty sure you see a lot of stuff going on in the industry. And Local 91. What are some of the biggest things you see coming and biggest battles coming up for the next generation of longshoremen, bosses, clerks, anybody in the ILWU and the negotiations? What are the challenges?
It's almost two questions. The challenge is automation is going to take everything. It is. The only thing that's going to be left is going to be bulk cargo that they're not going to be able to automate fully. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean just up and say Crockett where I'm at.
Right.
But bulk cargo across the board. So those in which are in Stockton, Local 54 are probably cement stuff. Excuse me.
Stock probably.
The actual bulk cargo that is being pushed across the board. The tire chips, iron ore, sulfur, coal. Mm-hmm. Those jobs there, those are going to be there because they're not as easy to automate. Mm-hmm. Not to say it can't happen.
Right.
but they're just not as easy to automate. When you start looking at the bulk cargo saying, hey, this is where the jobs are. Well, the jobs are there, but we're not focused on that. We're focused on the containers because that's where the money is
Right.
for the companies.
Yes.
So we're in a very precarious position, depending on what local you're in. LA seeing firsthand the automation hit them and hit them hard, and it's just the beginning for them. It's going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse. And somebody would say, hey, or some people would say, hey, the cars, the autos, they're safe.
Yeah.
We're going to have auto jobs.
Right.
We're not going to have those because the jobs are going to disappear because the car's going to drive themselves on and off. It's just a matter of time. You just don't see it yet.
Damn.
They're already driving around as taxis.
Right. Yes.
They're going to be driving on and off the ship by themselves. There's going to be no need for those jobs. So where do we fit in? And where we fit in is at all the tech jobs in which we're not studying for right now. And because we're not studying for them, because we're not preparing ourselves for those tech jobs, we're actually so far behind the curve that those tech jobs will probably be obsolete by the time we do get up to speed with them. That's the ugly. Elon Musk said it best. We need to prepare for a jobless society across the board. We need to have some sort of base income across the board. We're no different. We're no different. When he was speaking about that, he was speaking to everybody in the world. He wasn't speaking to just us.
Right.
Or he wasn't speaking to, when I say us, I mean the U.S.
Right.
He was speaking to everybody.
Yeah.
Because technology is going to move at a pace so fast that we're not going to be able to keep up with it. We need to move faster than what's coming. And the best way to move faster is to stay safe, is to create a safe zone. So contractually, what should we be looking at? We should be looking at guarantees. We should be looking at making sure that we have a job that pays us if we're not here.
Right.
That's what we need to do. Okay. And that we hold the employer 100% accountable so we have benefits. Medical benefits that we have are great. We should do nothing to lose them. We should do everything to keep them. And at the very same time, create the guarantees where it makes sense, where it actually functions. Right. And I don't mean like a pay guarantee. I don't mean PGP. And I know as a casual, you haven't explored that yet.
Right, no.
I'm just going to say that when I say guarantee, as a longshoreman, you should be guaranteed 50 hours a week. Pay, period. There should be work available to you. And if the work is not available to you, not some condition that you miss a job and so you lose it all. Right. It's that you lose just that day. That's what needs to be negotiated. Yeah. If you miss that job that day, you still get the rest of it. That's what should be negotiated. Right. You should be negotiating for a better long term to be able to get us out of here sooner. So looking towards the future, say, hey, how do I make it so that we're able to survive to the point where it's no longer here? And when it's no longer here, we as people that are on the waterfront are not asked out trying to go back out into the real world, trying to find something to do when we're already 50, 60, 70 years old. Right. And a lot of us are already in our 40s and 50s. Yes. A lot of us are already in our 60s. I was
43, so yeah.
Well, there it is. Yeah. So we need to set things up so that it makes sense because we know that it's going to disappear. Right. You can try to grab onto whatever you can. Yes. And you're going to have to negotiate for whatever you can. You're going to want to try to make, and this is going to sound horrible, you're going to want to try to make supervision part of the family. Okay. Because they are the ones which can slow down the process. It's only the companies in which can slow this down. We can try, but they're going to come steamrolling ahead no matter what. Yeah. You got to prove to the new ones that are coming into the companies, these new superintendents, these young tech guys, these young guys in which are looking to make a name for themselves, that there's a reason why we're here. And that we're here to help support them at the same time. And I know it sounds totally anti-union or anti-ILW, but it's truly not. We need to find a way to protect ourselves, and the only way we can protect ourselves against the company is to get them on our side the best we can to work alongside. We have to have a joint venture for the future. When you see a superintendent in which is young with kids, I don't want to hurt this man. I want to help this man. I want to make him the best superintendent he can be. Make sure that he knows that I care about him and his family. Why? Because I want to make sure that he and his family's okay, that they continue their job, and in exchange, we continue ours. Right. Okay. Okay. If that makes any sense. Yeah. It has to be a joint thing to move forward. if you could take the old timers down here on the waterfront, now when I say old timers, I mean old timer superintendents, old timer PMA officials, and you get them to a point where you can talk to them, say, hey, look, you know what, you have an opportunity to save the future for the waterfront.
Right.
You can start there with that conversation and negotiate from that point forward. Let them have that power of, hey, look, you guys are in a powerful position because you've been down here for as long as you have. And you've seen all that you have. Can we please make this last another 20, 30 years? Can we please make this last another 40 years? What can you do, being in the position you're in, so that the new person just came in the future is there for us and not just disappearing? And they have that power. They can sit there, and that's part of negotiating. They can sit there and negotiate. Now, if you're going to negotiations, and I've sat on negotiations, and I've sat there where I have a president which is literally jumping across the table into the PMA's face. That doesn't get you forward.
Right.
That doesn't move us forward at all. So you prove that you were a big badass that day because you jumped in this woman's face. How does that help you? How does that help us?
Right.
How do we move forward? Or why not come out and say, hey, look, we see that certain things are happening on the waterfront that we accept, whether they're right or wrong.
Right.
Why don't we make right out of it? Why don't we sit down and negotiate things that make sense? I could say as an example, a call out, right? Emergency call out. Why not negotiate emergency call outs where they need to be negotiated at, rather than be like, hey, you know what? We're just going to stop here and you can order another game. Because then that gives the company an opportunity to say, no, we're not going to order that game. Right. That gives the company an opportunity to play games, to be able to say, okay, you know, you're going to finish this, then I'm going to have you go over there and go finish that. You're going to finish this ship first, and then I'm selling everybody over to the next vessel. So if you negotiate it so that that doesn't happen, you see where the problem sits. Right. Let's fix the problems. And it has to be a very calm, cool conversation. As they say, most negotiations take place at the bar. Right. There's a reason for that. Because when you have a drink, you can sit back, relax, and you can have a conversation. And if you take it where it's not 100%, you know, volatile between the two people, where you're not trying to go to war. This doesn't have to be a battle. Right. If we're opening, just like we're sitting here talking right now, if it's a conversation, it changes things. Let's work through problems. Yes. And when I've been on negotiations where I've sat there and we've had actual conversation, where it's like, hey, look, this is the problem. Can we create a solution? I will honestly say 90% of the time, the solution was created. And even if it didn't turn into writing, the solution happened. Okay. But it takes that conversation. Right. The hard conversation. It takes a conversation. It can't be a fuck you back and forth. Right, right. No. It has to be a you know, we're going to move forward to make this work. Right. I sat on negotiations, and this was one of the strangest ones I sat in. And this was when I was a B man. So I was a B sitting in negotiations. There was only 3 people in that room outside of those that were negotiating. The president local had made a horrible deal. Absolutely horrible deal. It was so bad. And it was for 94 in San Francisco, Pier 94. A company called Hanson. It was aggregate rock. The deal was so horrible, the company came back to the table to renegotiate the agreement. That when they sat there, and the president wasn't there to renegotiate. It was an executive board member from Local 10, in which had sat down at that table. And he sits down at that table across from the company. And the conversation went something like this. You know, I'd like to change this line here. And the company then turns and says, no, we're not interested in changing that line. Well, you know, we really need to change this line. No, we're not going to do that. Well, I really want to change this line right here. Let's get back to this. Let's change this line. He says, look, I already have an agreement. I don't need to negotiate this again. It's a signed agreement. It's a legal agreement. The only reason why I'm here is because how poorly the president had done. And when I heard that, I said, wow, I can't believe this. That's horrible. And I don't want to throw names in here.
You're right.
Okay. But those in which know, you do your homework, it's there. The negotiator turns and says, okay, moving forward, let's negotiate the next line. And they went through the whole process and negotiate that whole agreement. When it was all said and done, you had a working walking boss. You had minimal labor. But everybody walked away from that table happier than what they came to. And it was all a conversation, because the company then turned and said, the reason why we're here is because it was a test to see how bad your president was. And if he'd sign it. Their attorneys wrote up the agreement. Their attorneys passed it across the table knowing that half of it was illegal.
Wow.
They knew it was not illegal. It was not okay by the Department of Labor standards. It was total violation. It was having you work 12 hours with no breaks. Yeah, it was something crazy. It was something crazy. It was nuts. And everybody was working. You had a working clerk, you had a working boss, you had a working.
Yes.
Yeah, it was minimal labor. It was as bad as it could be for an agreement. And I can honestly say it was because there was a conversation that took place. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't a battle. It was a conversation that took place that negotiated that contract out where it's actually a decent agreement. We didn't get a lot out of it. We got 2 buttermen. We have a scale master. So we have a clerk. We have a walking boss. We have a couple longshoremen there working. But when you look at it, you can't get that job as a casual. And you know why? Because it's that good.
Yeah.
It's that good of a job. Because you go there as a button man, you're literally holding the remote control. And when the machine buzzes, you push the button.
Right.
And you go back to sleep. When the machine buzzes again, you push the button.
I tell people all the time, you don't need no skill to be a button man. That's why this person is 89 years old.
Yeah, well, you know what? The skill part comes here. You got to be able to push that button. All right. Yeah. Not everybody can push that button. It's been proven. And you only got to push the button for 4 hours. That's the kicker.
That was the news.
That's the other thing.
The 4 on.
For those which are watching this and which are not in the longshore industry, believe me, you want to come down. And as soon as there's an opening, please try to get there. There's a lot of good stuff down here.
The lottery for sure. I think that so the future to me. Okay, yeah. I had Brother Newt. Shout out to Brother Newt. He gave me a whole different perspective about thinking about it because automation. We all scared of it and all this. It's a thing that feels like it's going to take over the industry. But Brother New said, it's us being solid together. It's us coming together and having each other back and being there at the negotiating table for them to see that we are ready to do whatever to keep this.
I'm in agreement.
Out of it. So that's the thing that I think for the future. It's for us to, like I said, get John.
I want to throw something else in there, and this is one where most of your fans are going to frown. You may even frown, and this has to do with the president right now. President Donald Trump is working hand in hand with the ILA, with the longshoremen on the East Coast, right? And their contracts are very different than ours, very different, but they have the same problems. They're the exact same industry with the exact same employers on the East Coast. And if
they have PMA?
They don't have PMA. It's the exact same employers.
Okay.
So they have SSA over there. They have Ports of America over there. They have Metropolitan over there. They have the same stevedores over there on that side, right? The same people which are member companies of PMA over here. So what we need to really be looking at is what can Donald Trump do for the ILA right now or has done, and how does that affect us?
Can come
to our side. Okay. What good can we pull out of that?
Yes.
And when it does come time to negotiate again, and whoever the president is, whether it's a Republican or Democrat, doesn't really matter as much as we need somebody in which is on that same level where they're willing to do business and make business decisions. It has to be a business. It has to be business decisions looking towards the future, and that's why I said you got to take these old timers that are in the industry, in the companies, because they're the ones that are at the table, and say, "Hey, how would you like your legacy to be? Do you want to be the one that destroys this,
right?
Or do you want to be the one that saves this? Because we're here to save it. We're here to try to keep this automation down. We want automation. It's not that we don't,
right?
But we want it in a way that it doesn't kill us,
right?
It doesn't destroy
it
us.
Helps
it doesn't destroy us. It helps us, right? Modernization and mechanization came in the late '60s, early '70s, and that was the big turn of what happened in the industry, where we went from handheld bulk cargo to containerization. We're going through the same sort of deal right now. The difference is that we're not doing it from handheld to containerization. We're doing it to these UTRs that are driving by themselves.
From human to
correct, to machine.
To a machine.
We're dealing with automated linemen, where we don't even tie up ships anymore.
You got that?
Yeah, they got that as well.
Now I thought
they got automated linemen where the ship comes alongside, magnetically attaches, and is there. So,
wow.
It doesn't mean that it needs to destroy everything.
Right.
But as it's coming in, we need to be prepared for it to come in a way where we're able to not be displaced.
Yes.
And not be on top of each other in this crab bucket, trying to kill each other over a single job.
Yeah.
We need to have this set up so that we are able to spread out still and still able to make it. And this is not just 10, this is across the board.
Right. Yeah.
So, shout out to Crane Daddy down there in LA, because he actually brought this up on his YouTube.
Okay.
It's the same question. How do we move forward? How do we train for the future, knowing how quickly the future is? It's right here, right now. Yeah. We don't have the time. It's changing by the moment. Now, the big machines are coming. They're going to get better and better and faster and faster. And while right now we may be able to keep up with them, we can't keep up with all of them. They don't get hurt. They don't stop.
They don't need to eat.
Right. They don't need a break. They don't need 15 minutes.
Right.
So we need to be prepared for changes on our end, knowing that we're try to compete with that, which I think is futile.
Right.
Competing is dumb. I think we need to embrace and say, hey, let's work alongside let's make it work with us. Let's find those tech jobs that we can get. Let's expand outside of our normal longshore industry. You and I had talked off camera about how much more the industry has.
Yeah.
Maybe this is another sector that needs to be really, truly looked at and pulled in, that we need a tech side that we haven't explored.
Right.
And somehow link that to everything. Bring in as many of the IT as possible. Because that's what we need.
Yeah, troubleshooters, all that.
We need all that. We need all those people brought in the industry.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't need to be we have the beautiful tools here, right? Everybody doesn't need to be a lasher.
Right.
There's going to be those in which are going to be lashers until lashing is no more. And it's just a matter of time before they come with that, where they're like, hey, look, we got automatic everything. You already got automatic cones. You're going to have automatic lashing. Just wait and see how this all plays out. Things are going to get very, very strange, and it's going to happen quickly because the tech zone is that quick, that fast. We're moving at light speed. So trying to catch up where we're this far behind is going to be difficult. The future, we need to be able to set up so that we have something there for us to support our families, so we can still put bread on the table, so that your son, your grandson, can wake up to go to your house when you sleep on the side of the floor, right, on the side of the bed,
with a big wad,
right, with a big wad of money in your pocket still, and he's going to be able to do the same, right?
Yes,
that's the goal. And if you want to know why Grandpa would sleep on the side of the bed, it took me a while to understand. Because Grandpa's back hurt, and that's why he would sleep on the floor. Why was he on Grandma's side of the bed on the floor? Because that was by the window, and the drapes came down and hit all the light, so he didn't get any light on him while he was trying to sleep.
Right.
That's why Grandpa would sleep on the floor that day.
And I understand, because this job definitely is the kind of job that will have you with a hurt back.
That's it.
So you got to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And one of them things to help us work a little smarter is automation. But like you said, we need to figure out how to coexist.
We have to coexist.
Yes, we have to coexist. We have to, and so I feel like I said, our togetherness to the negotiation is the thing that's gonna have us coexisting, because I think that the rich people, the employers, uh, they have money. They can say forget all of us if they want to for a while. They'll be able to sustain their lifestyles without moving anything, I think. But if we stand together, we'll keep ourselves covered. And it's all about, to me, it's all about covering ourselves, like you said. Having that, you saw your grandpa. I have a son. I would love to let him get in this industry if it's still viable.
Right, still viable.
And I feel like our industry will be very viable if we bond.
I have two of my children
if we bond. So
two of my 4 kids are down here already.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you, one of them is a casual, and the other one's a B.
Okay.
The B was struggling as a casual, and when she got her B book, I said, "You're gonna be okay."
Right.
And she swore she wasn't gonna be okay. She wasn't gonna be okay. You know what? She has not asked me for one dime since. She no longer lives at home.
Yeah.
And this is just being very honest. It's a beautiful thing, because even as a B, yes, it's hard.
Yes.
But you can make it.
Yes, you can.
As long as you want to make it, it's there. You'll be able to.
You will. Mm-hmm.
There's enough money for everybody. It's just a matter of getting in a position to be able to get it.
Yes.
And hopefully, the long term, you do right with it.
Yes. And set yourself
up for a future.
Because this will set yourself and your family up. That's great. This brings us to the next thing. Like, okay, so beyond all the tangible shit, we could touch it. Beyond all that, beyond the healthcare, beyond the fat bonus because you did something great, beyond all of that stuff, you being a member of Local 91, what do you feel like something positive that impacts the people that you could talk to your family about? You can talk to the future, to casuals like you talk to me. What's something positive about this that you could say besides the money?
So part why I came on today, and I thank you for inviting me.
Oh, for sure. Appreciate you for coming.
This does allow me to speak to people. It does allow me to share a story, or share a few stories. Mm-hmm. Right. Not only do you get a taste of who I am, but why I am who I am.
Right.
And you said beyond the money.
Okay.
It is beyond the money.
Mm-hmm. There's
a love, a passion that goes along with being down here. And you grow into this. This isn't something that just happens overnight. You find yourself at times concerned about people that you would have never thought about in your life.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. You fall in love with those that are around you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your father and I both came in together, same group. We weren't the closest.
Right.
It's not that I didn't know him though.
Yes.
What I did know about him, I could say this without a question. I knew who his partner was. I knew that the two of them did not like lashing, and that they loved driving that tractor. I don't know why, but they loved driving that tractor, and you could count on them.
Retired driving tractor.
You can count on them. Him and his partner, boy, the two of them, you can count on them. Yeah. You knew the two of them were together.
Yeah.
And it was a bond that they grew so tight together.
Shout out Mr. G. I think that's who you talking about.
That's who I'm talking about.
Shout out Mr.
G. But it's a great thing. And this goes with that question of what's beyond this? Well, what's beyond this is this. My father had passed on June 11th. Before he had passed, thank you. Before he had passed, on Memorial Day, he had a get together at the house. Mm-hmm. And here's a person I call Uncle Augie, and which came over. And Uncle Augie Gambit. I've known Augie since I was little itty bitty.
Right.
And so that's why he's Uncle Augie. And Uncle Augie been retired. He lives in the Philippines. Flew back in. Okay. Every once in a while, he comes back in. Flew back in. He went to go see my dad.
Wow.
That was the first thing he wanted to go do. And this is that bond that I talk about.
Yes.
Right? Augie and my father, the two of them were partners for years and years and years before even coming down to the waterfront. Both of them. And so that love together, that togetherness, that bond is unbreakable. So when you look at the future, say, hey, what with all that I've done, what can I give? Well, anything in which has been instilled in me, anything in which I've learned over the years, it's no good to me anymore.
Right.
It's only good to me if I share it. If I pass it on.
Right.
If I don't pass on this knowledge, then what good is it?
No, you know, die with it.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So it dies with me, and the legacy goes, and everything else goes. No all the little tricks that I may have learned goes. If there's something in which I could learn that could be passed along to help the next, then that's the beautiful part about this. And I don't care if it's in this industry or outside of this, because there's stuff you learn here that you do outside, and everybody look at you and say, how did you know to do that? Now, I do a lot of rigging as an example. And people are like, how did you know how to rig that? How did you know how to lash that? How did you know how? Well, hell, I've been doing this all my life.
Yeah.
How did you know how to load that? Well, this is what I do.
Right. Yeah.
If there's something I know how to do, is I know how to organize a box.
Right.
You know, give me a bunch of boxes and need to be put in here. I can make it happen.
Right.
My wife was shocked as hell when I had to organize a room. It's like, how did you fit all that in there? Well, it's just like loading a ship.
Right. Yeah.
It's the same thing, right? Just everything got to be placed where it needs to be placed.
That's true.
So you take the skills you learn here, and hopefully you can apply it and pass it on. And more than just that, you teach those in which are younger, right? So my son, my daughter, like I said, they're down here. My son is a casual. My son has no clue. He's new. He's still very new. And he didn't understand why I did this. He didn't understand what I did. My daughter didn't understand why I do this. Didn't understand what it is until she came down. Now, was it scary for her? Of course. It was out of her comfort zone. It was totally different. Oh, baby, you're going to be okay. Yeah. I got you. Yeah. I got you. If you need anything, I got you. And I stood by that. I said, you get behind on that car payment and you're going to get behind that car payment, let me know. Yeah. I got you.
That's a beautiful thing. I love it.
Well, you want to be able to help the future, right?
Yes.
And the plan for me is that I want you to be able to be successful down here on the waterfront. Why? Because I know that this will carry you through.
Yes.
I know that as long as you try, as long as you want this, it's going to take you to the next level. You're going to be able to go to a place where the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
If you want to go buy an airplane, you want to go buy a jet, you can do it.
Right.
You may not realize it, or you may not think about that on day one.
Right.
But you can do it. If you want to go buy that sports car, that super, whatever it is, you can do it.
Right.
Now, I remember, and this is going to go back to a story about togetherness. A clerk, Dave Lavelle. Shout out to Dave, Local 34.
Shout out, Local 34.
Dave had came with this concept of, hey, we can go buy a home in Texas. A group of us can go buy a home in Texas. Buy something lavish. And he lived in Texas for a while. We can go purchase a jet. And there's no reason why we can't take a jet back and forth to Texas, be back to Oakland in about 2 hours or less.
Right, yeah.
Right? We can have our own personal jet. Why not? Now, we never did it because everybody couldn't seem to get together on the same page, unfortunately. But the concept, the vision was very solid.
Yeah.
I can't get away from what he said because it made all the sense in the world. If we work together, we can do this.
Yes.
And that's just the fact. And that goes with anything else down here. Now, if you want to go buy one of those supercars, man, you're going to make enough money where you can do it. And my daddy told me years ago when he was around, he said, if you want it, son, just go sign your name on the dotted line. They're going to give it to you.
Right.
And I'll be damned if they don't. You go to any Mercedes dealership, you tell them what you got, they're going, here you go.
Yeah.
I walked into a dealership some years ago. I bought 2 cars on the same day from the same salesman. And the salesman sat back confused. He didn't understand. How was it?
2 cars on the same day?
We bought 2 cars? Because I bought the first one. And I turned and said, I think I want to get a second one. He said, What do you mean you want to get a second one?
What the hell did you do?
I said, I want, you know what? I said, I want the blue one too. I couldn't make my decision between the white one and the blue one. I want the blue one as well. And he said, you gonna buy 2 cars? I said, yeah, I'm gonna buy 2. He said, I've never sold 2 cars to one person before. I said, well, this is what's happening, right?
Yeah.
And so then his next question was, well, how are you gonna get it home?
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny as hell that he even said that.
Yeah.
I said, it's here. I'm paying for it. It's mine. I'll get it home. You don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna come get it. It's going to be here. If I got to pick it up tomorrow or send a truck driver to come get it. I said, I'm buying 2 cars. And I drove home 2 cars that day. And I had the white one and I had the blue one. They weren't super expensive cars.
Right. Okay? But still.
But
2 cars in
2
one
brand
day.
new, 0 miles on them. Hey, fresh, right?
2 cars.
My neighbors looked at me like, well, what the hell do you do? I know you sell trucks.
Man. man. Only if you knew them hard nights of being on the ship or damn near ripping off one of your fingers or something.
Most recently, I've been at home more often than not. My neighbor had texted my wife, did your husband finally retire?
Oh, damn.
And I thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious when that was said. Did your husband finally retire? I had to say, no, I'm not retired. And I went over there to the neighbor and I said, I'm going to be home a little bit more for the next couple of weeks. I'm working on the bathroom. I said, no, I'm not retired yet.
Right. No, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still telling them what to do. I'm still telling them what to do because, I didn't earn my...
Well, I got to that.
You earned it. Yeah, you earned it. And I, you know what? Out of like all of the whole grand scheme of the ILWU, to me, the point of people is wherever they want to be at. If you feel like when you get to your level, you want to move to San Diego, you want to move to British Columbia, you want to move to Hawaii, these places have us there to welcome you with open arms. So with that being said, I thank you for coming. I want y'all to know that I mess with all y'all. You may not know who I am. My name is Dezo. I'm 3815. I'm a casual from Local 10, but it doesn't matter what local you from. He's not from local. He was from Local 10, but he a boss. So
Local 91.
And we have over 70 locals in our collective. So you guys know, come here, put your tools down, and we gonna have a good conversation. Hey, this been an Injury to One, and we thank y'all for sure. And I appreciate you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you for having me.
For real.
Brothers and sisters, remember to stay safe out there because an injury to one is an injury to all.